Good day everyone, we're going to take a look at chapter 6.1, which is named Calculating with Percentages. First going to take a look at theory A, which is all about calculating with percentage increase, and afterwards we also will take a look at theory B, which is about percentage decrease. The theory starts with talking about some information which is already a common knowledge to you all. If you still have trouble with this, take a look at my video about the prior knowledge, because it goes more in depth about this kind of calculations that are shown right here. So how can you calculate, for example, 36% of 840, or how can you calculate the percentage of a certain amount. However, I'm going to start with calculating percentage increases and how we can do that in a faster way than what we're used to right now. For example, if we know that the price of a certain light bulb is €6.20 and this price is going to be increased by 15%, we're going to call the new price just new in capital letters. Get used to that. And in certain ways we're also going to call the old price old in capital letters. We already know a way how we can calculate this, and what you learned is that you can calculate new by taking the original price and doing plus 0.15, which is 15%, times 6.20, and that gives us the final amount, which is going to be €7.13. However, this calculation can be shortened, and if you want to know why, take a look at this notation. You can say that €6.20 is 100%, or so-called old price. Then 0.15 times 6.20 is 15% of the €6.20, the old price. And it leaves us with the final answer, which is going to be the new price, which equals 115%. Turns out that in this case, we can also say, well, 115 is going to be 1.15 in decimal notation. We're going to learn later that it's called the multiplication factor. So new can be calculated in a more straightforward way by doing just 115%, or 1.15, times the old price, €6.20 in this case, which leaves us with the final answer, which is 7.13. If you take a look at both calculations, you can see that the second one is a bit shorter to notate. So, how much is new, or a new price, after an increase of 18%? New is 1.18 times old, right? Another example, let's say a ticket costs €32. The price is increased by 9.3%. Calculate the new price. Well, new is going to be a certain percentage times old. We can calculate this percentage by doing 100% plus the 9%, which is going to add up to 109.3, or again, if we're going to divide this by 100, if you find it difficult, take a look at the prior knowledge, leaves us with 1.093. This is going to be the amount, or the multiplication factor that we're going to use to do times the old price, right? Old, which is 32, which leaves us with approximately €34.98. And I'm going to round off on two decimal numbers because we're talking about money in this case. If we know that we can calculate an increase this way, we can also use the same way to calculate decreases. So we're going to use the same logic. If an amount increases by 15%, you use 100% plus 15% is 150%, or 1.15. If we're going to decrease this price by 15%, you use 100% minus 15%, which leaves us in the end with a factor of 0.85. And if we're going to take a look at the formula, you can see we can use the same formula to calculate a decrease as the formula that we've used to calculate an increase. However, our factor in this case is going to be smaller than 0. And here the factor is always going to be bigger than, or is that smaller than 0? I mean smaller than 1, right? Smaller than 1. And this one, an increase is always going to be bigger than 1. And that's the only difference. If you want to take a look at a few more examples, take a look at the second video we're going to discuss a few more examples using those formulas.